This is me, Spoon Beast.
Well, what's happening, everybody? I got my Nintendo shirt on here. It's a new Super Mario Brothers shirt. And let's get straight to it. As you've seen from the 1000 intros, we got a new series for you. And I am beyond late with the news, but hey, better late than never, right? A lot of things have been going on. It's been a crazy month, but let's get into the first edition of your Super Smash News Flash. A little bit of a pun in terms of the game that probably most people know about, Super Smash Flash, as well as it's an homage, so to speak, to my own work. I did this news update sort of thing at the end of every week during every update that was made when we got weekly, daily updates on the Smash Brothers Dojo and the build up to the launch of Super Smash Brothers Brawl. I called that series Smash Dojo News. This website is not a dojo, though. It's just a website that gets a new screenshot or new little stage or character announced once in a blue harvest moon. And because of that, it's not really a dojo, so the name isn't really that fitting, so I went with this new name instead. So, on this first edition of Super Smash News Flash, the big news that's been standing for nearly 2 weeks now is, of course, one of my favorite characters from Brawl. Olimar has come back, and he is a returning veteran to Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo 3DS and Wii U. Very interesting call. I thought, in terms of the Brawl newcomers, he had a very, very, very good chance of making it back. I was talking with one of my subscribers on Skype, and he asked basically if, because, with as big as Pikmin 3 is going to be in terms of being a Wii U launch, if Alf was going to replace Olimar as the Pikmin representative, and I basically said, well, it's not really going to be much of a point to that, because you see, if they replaced Olimar with Alf, it's just basically a different skin for Olimar using the same fighting moves anyway, and Olimar already made his name stay in Brawl as kind of like the Pikmin representative, because I think the protagonist changes every game anyway. You had Olimar in the first one, you had Louie in the second one, and you got Alf in the third one, and Olimar debuted in Brawl with the Pikmin, so I thought he'd be coming back with the Pikmin if they were going to bring back a Pikmin representative at all, and they did, which is cool, because he was, as much as people like to rag on him, I don't understand why. He is one of the better additions, one of the best additions to the Brawl roster, easily, in my mind, and I don't know why nobody notices, but when I uploaded my last video, which that's going to have like its own sort of mini video spin-off to it, that has nothing to do with Smash Brothers. You'll see what it is in the coming weeks. But that video, I uploaded a subscriber message because I recorded it on the Thursday before Olimar was confirmed to be in the game. And I went to go upload it and basically seen on the website before I uploaded to YouTube that Olimar had been confirmed as a returning veteran. And I'm like, of course. Of course that happens. I go and get something, I get this video shot and recorded. What are the control types they're going to use for Smash? And then, a character actually gets announced on the website. I'm like, oh, I missed the news, and I just made a video. I'll send out a subscriber message attached to that video, and people will see it. All of you still messaged me about it. Now, it's not that big of a deal. You Skype me, you personal message me on YouTube. That's fine. I tell you to do that anyway. But I just thought it was funny. I even sent the subscriber message. Maybe it didn't work properly. It was my first time ever using that little feature. It's such a complicated uploading system now. It's ridiculous. Overly complex for such a simple website. It's gotten so much more complex over the years, people. We have been doing this nearly 6 years now. Ay. But, yeah, so I knew before you all started PMing me. It was something I planned to talk about. I've been just, it's been crazy week. And I'm here to talk about him now. He's going to bring back clearly the same moves, so I don't see him changing very much about it. He's going to use the Pikmin. The Pikmin are going to attack. You can throw them. You can toss them. They can cling on to your opponents after you throw them. They use their powers, and you're basically helpless without them. It's a cool little style. I mained Olimar and Brawl, and I got really, really good with him. He still wasn't my favorite addition to the game. Sonic was, but I would say technically as a sound Brawl player, he was the character I probably got the best with. It doesn't matter now. I go back and I'm rusty as fuck and play just as good as him with any other schmuck on the roster that I'm decent with, but back when Brawl came out and I was really pseudo-serious about playing it, Olimar was my guy. He was the guy I mained and got really, really good with. There's always that one character that when a game first comes out, like a fighting game, that you really get kind of good with. Especially Smash Bros. You always pick and choose who you play the best with. Olimar and Brawl is hands down probably the best character I gelled with in any of the 3 games. So when I heard this, I'm just like, oh yes! Perhaps my favorite of the Brawl veterans is coming back. The only way to make it better is if Diddy Kong comes back, which I think he should. I mean, you should bring back all the characters that had pretty good name value in Brawl in terms of being newcomers. Pit's obviously a mainstay with him being basically Sakurai's new pet project since debuting him in Brawl and being able to use him in Kid Icarus Uprising, which is cool because they're adding some stuff from Uprising to his actual moveset to make him a little more diverse. But you see, with Olimar, they're not really going to change anything. And from the screenshots I've seen, it's basically a lot of the same stuff. And funny thing about the screenshots, I was looking at news on Google for the game. That's how I came across it. It was like a little update of like a Mega Man attack, and I clicked on it, and the main shot was Olimar attacking Mega Man. And I thought it was photoshopped. I thought, because the graphics are impressive. It boggles my mind how I didn't really notice this before. But Olimar, if you see him in screenshots for Smash 4, he looks like the Olimar from the cutscenes from the Subspace Emissary. I mean, he looks that polished. I did not notice that. So when I seen it, I seen Mega Man jumping up in the air and Olimar coming at him. I thought it was a screenshot, just a really good screenshot of Olimar from the Subspace, photoshopped with Mega Man. And then I ended up going on their website just to be sure. And well enough, that's an actual screenshot for the game. And Olimar just looks that polished. He looks like the way they animated him for the Subspace Emissary. That's what his main render model looks like. And beautiful, like. I never really noticed it with any of the other characters, how polished some of these people look or how much the graphics kind of went up. Because they're kind of cartoony compared to Brawl. Like, Brawl tried to go for a realistic look, whereas this is kind of bringing back the flashy, colorful look Melee had and the first game had. Whereas Brawl was a little more grainy and realistic looking. This is a little more over-the-top and colorful, which I think suits the game anyway. But when it comes to Olimar, he's completely graphically updated because there's no way you can really make him look kind of realistic. But you can tell a big difference. I mean, you look at Olimar as a regular fighter from Brawl, and you compare him to what he's going to look like in the 4th game, and it looks like something out of a cutscene from the Subspace Emissary. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Awesome. So yeah, that's an awesome second person to be a Brawl veteran. At this point in time, Brawl has more veterans on the roster than Melee does. Bowser is the lone wolf in terms of representatives for Melee at this point in time. Like, Brawl already has Pit and Olimar. Poor Bowser, he's the lone wolf for the Melee veterans. They'll pop up soon enough. But it's funny, Brawl is in the head count, and if they get another person like Diddy Kong confirmed, or if they get Sonic back, then that's more Brawl veterans. So we'll see. And one last thing before I go on to maybe branch into different topics of what's been announced over the last week and a half. The 6 empty spots that we were talking about in my first post-E3 video. This is going to be my 3rd. But in that video, the What's Next for Smash video, we all mentioned that we all noticed that there were 6 empty spots on the Super Smash Bros. Official website behind the characters that were already announced. Now that Olimar has filled the spot, the slots went down to 5. So over the next couple of months, they probably plan on filling those 5 spots. How many of them are going to be veterans? How many of them are going to be newcomers? I'm not entirely sure. I think they should at least have one newcomer. I wouldn't mind like if it was all veterans that were announced for those spots, but I'd like to see one new face out of the 5. I don't think that's very hard to compensate for. I don't need to see a bunch. I don't need to see the next 5 be all newcomers or anything like that. Just one, and somebody. It doesn't even need to be somebody huge. Just maybe they have to be at least somewhat decent, but bigger than Wii Fit Trainer. You don't need to be as big as Mega Man. Nothing's gonna be that big in terms of an announcement. But somebody like a Little Mac or Bowser Jr. or something like that would be cool, and then you could announce maybe 2 other Melee veterans, 3 other Melee veterans, and a Brawl veteran, or 2 Brawl veterans and 2 Melee veterans, something like that. And keep gamers guessing for however long there is, because every day they've been updating different screenshots, and Olimar's taken quite a lot of the new screenshots on the website because he's the newest character announced, veteran and all. He's still a new character announced for the game. But they have showing different attacks, like Samus's couple attacks. They've been showing character interactions and apparently double team maneuvers you can kind of pull off in this. The gyroids, of course, from Animal Crossing, as we've seen a villager flying across. It look like these little cactus fire hydrant hybrid looking things. They're from Animal Crossing. They're going to be a new item in the game, so that's going to be interesting. And Sakurai himself has said that he's considered multiple times for Super Smash Bros. To be on a Nintendo handheld console before. This probably dates back to the DS. I didn't really get in on what the specifics of the interview were, but I can't really see it going much past the DS, and he's probably thinking of maybe porting and updating the look from the original N64 game and porting it to the DS, or maybe making a little handheld version with old school characters, something like that for the original DS. I'm sure it was planned maybe once, but then Brawl came out, and then he got busy with the next Kid Icarus game, and now he's got this game coming out, which is being developed for both platforms, so that's something interesting. But it's not surprising that it's been considered for handheld before. It's probably long overdue with this game coming out, and the fact that it's going to be matching a console game is a little weird. Because think if there was a handheld version, it would have been made its own unique game, but this one is being paired with the actual console version. So they want both versions to succeed, so one should not be superior to the other. It just depends on what system you have, unless you're getting it for both. I, however, plan to go with the platform console version. And, so that's that. And speaking of the handheld version, the 3DS just got a recent screenshot of a new stage of some sort. I can't really make out what it is. But we have been getting lack of 3DS shots. Like, Olimar has been confirmed as a newcomer. There's no 3DS screenshots of him. Villager and Wii Fit Trainer do not have any 3DS screenshots, despite the roster is going to be the exact same for each version. The only newcomer or new character that was announced at E3 that wasn't Villager, Wii Fit Trainer, and Mega Man. Mega Man's the only new character announced that has any 3DS screenshots, mainly because he's third party, I guess, so they kind of needed to do that. But at the same time, it's kind of weird why they're not showing off more of the whole roster, especially Olimar. Like, at least with Wii Fit Trainer and Villager, they're newcomers, so they're brand new to the game. But Olimar, he's a veteran. He's a Brawl veteran. He's coming back for a second game. Like everybody else, like Pitt in specific, he's got 3DS screenshots. You know, like, why doesn't he have any screenshots of him being on the 3DS? Why is it that if they're going to have the exact same rosters, why isn't there 3DS screenshots of three, if not more, people on that have been officially announced on the website? Why do they not have 3DS screenshots? I do not understand that one bit. It boggles my mind. Maybe it's just saving them. Maybe they feel that the console version brings in more eyes. I don't know. But if you're trying to make them on an even playing field, you should most certainly always have, you know, as much screenshots of characters on one version than you do on the other. And to me, for all characters, the 3DS screenshots are lacking. Maybe I don't know why. It's kind of weird. But the recent screenshot they released, because I think they upload a new shot of the game every day. I could be wrong. Maybe it's every second day or a couple times a week. But every time I go on, it seems to be something different. Might be every 2 days. I'm not entirely sure. But there's a new screenshot. And today it was a featured 3DS screenshot. There have been a couple more in the past. But this one sticks out because it looks like it's some sort of new stage. Now, I don't know if there's going to be stages that are console exclusives or if they're both going to have the exact same stages. You guys can tell me that. I don't know how something like that Zelda Train can translate well to a home console. It just doesn't seem like it. It looks very, very 3DS, and same with that Battlefield-looking stage from the original E3 trailer. But if they're both going to have the same stages, you can be fair to tell me, because I haven't heard anything from Sakurai when it comes to that. I've heard all characters are going to be in both games, which begs the question, isn't Wii Fit Trainer being in a 3DS game kind of weird, considering she's never been on a 3DS or DS game in her entire life? She's only been shown as a statuette figure for Wii Fit on the Wii and Wii U consoles. Just a little weird. But yeah, everybody, this is me, and I brought you your very first Super Smash News Flash. And every time there's something decent or something breaking news or anything like that, it won't be 2 weeks late, I hope. This is ridiculous. This is a little slow. And it's just a little video to tide you over and show that I am not completely out of the loop when it comes to updating for this game. I've been keeping up with all the news and going to try and do my very best to keep up with it all. So I'll see you a bit later this week. I think I'm going to upload a video on this weekend about a very different Nintendo-related topic that I could say, and I'll give you a little preview right now. And if you follow me on Twitter and like me on my Facebook and all that jazz, then you'll be able to figure out things behind the scenes while I'm not really doing videos. But I'm going to give you a little taste right here. It's a negative video, and it's a bit of a calling out and making a stand sort of thing. So that'll be coming at you this weekend or the beginning of next week. I'm going to give a little bit of time between these. Your third video for July. And again, so you know what's going on, I tweet all the time. You can follow me on Twitter, @SpoodBeast. My Facebook page is linked on my channel. It's a part of that little image map thing that they got on the Awesome 1 channels now. Yeah, awesome. And, you know, I'm on Instagram, I'm on all of those, but you don't really need to follow me on that. You can if you would do, because I'd love for people to follow my photography. But more so the Twitter and the Facebook, because I like to update you all through there. And very much a lot of people have been following through this. You can add me on Skype, because then you get a little bit of an insider view, and you can talk to me whenever you want. I'm on there quite a bit during the week. You can pop me some questions, talk about future content for the channel, all that. And, of course, you can always personal message me, comment on the channel, do what you can, comment on this video. Do all that sort of stuff. I don't need to tell you to like it or dislike it. You already got that stuff down pat. So anyway, people, it is me, Spoodbeast, signing off with your first news flash, and I hope to see you again later this week, people. Have a good one.